disaster in Florida where the ocean is boiling, the ground is collapsing, and something beneath Florida is happening for sure. We're going to get to all of that. But October 27th, look at this. It's not being covered widely. Got drone footage, Lake County, Florida, a collapse. You can see spreading far. The entire road has been shut down. And you would ask, okay, well, why is this happening? Something is really deep below Florida is cooking up. It's heating up. And if you look at this, you can see how far this stretches. This is not the only image. We can go to another video here. Ground washes out from Florida after all of the rainfall. This is a huge, massive opening we're seeing here. And I spoke with one of the professors who has people he know out there in Florida, and he's got reports in about what's happening on the ground. And we're going to give you that information here. And something here, this whole scenario here. Yes, October. Somebody says October. Yes. I just had the date on the top of the thing. Functionally extinct after 10,000 years on ocean coast. 2 key corals are dead. And that's because of the extreme ocean heat. They are dead. And we're going to go into more, like you can see right here live here on these clips. The road completely collapsed. This is the name of the specific area. Lake County, Florida, emergency 2 holes closed each East Crooked Lake Drive in Eustis. So this disaster is not just because, oh, there's sinkholes open up in Florida. Oh, that's this. Oh, it's that. It's much bigger than that. And we want to actually give you another clip, another view of this before we get into more. All right, so if you're in Florida right now, let us know in the comment section, how are you doing? What's going on? Like just a few days ago, it was reported that a strong earthquake hit off the coast of the Caribbean, and the cancellation of a tsunami was expected. But here's where it gets a little bit stranger. I go to the earthquake reports. Guess what? Oh, no recent earthquakes over a year in Florida. But how is that true? How? When just this year, there was reports even from Florida Today, was there an earthquake overnight? That was back in July. But even right now in the comments, tell me if you felt shaken in Florida. Watch when we look through the comments. Watch when you hear from people in Florida that they've been probably even recently feeling something. So I don't know why we're not getting information on this, but we're about to investigate this right now. First, though, let's listen to what the professor said, who has people he know on the ground in Florida. And this is the ocean area that we're getting heat off of Florida's coast as well, beneath the ocean. So check this clip out. I think I have the audio on. No, I didn't have the audio on, did I? So let's redo that clip. We're going to put that clip back in so you can hear exactly what is being said in the beginning of that, because it's important. All right, now the professor, I have more clips coming to him as well. Director of the science program, former director at Union College, Professor Fred Zeelenbach.
We're seeing seismic activity where, like I said, I haven't seen seismic activity before. And the oceans are heating up. I mean, they're heating up. The oceans in the southern part of Florida near the Keys, the oceans in the Caribbean are like, they're like bath water. They're like boiling, but bath water, that people are telling me. And when you have water that warm, you have, that's what they would call dead zones. You have no.
Oh, this is it, folks. Look like this is it.
They look like they got poisonous methane gas. So obviously something is going on underneath the water.
boiling in Florida. You said people reporting that it's boiling over there. So how often has that happened? Has it been this month where they just like, oh, the water is much hotter than usual?
Oh yeah, it's much hotter down here. Water is much hotter in Kentucky.
Poisonous methane gas. This is what he just said, and we got more coming with the professor. This is why corals are functionally extinct off of Florida coast. I mean, it's like we living out these times for real, y'all. Like this is really here. Like we in it. And the East Coast. So what's going on here? I was looking up. I was like, all right, is there any underwater volcanoes? Anything? Geologists have found evidence of submarine volcano activity that occurred during Paleozoic and Mesozoic area. Something got to be heating up the floor down there. Let's look into this. Devil's Millhopper, where Florida's volcanoes whisper through time. It says Florida today is known for its sandy beaches and lush wetlands, but terrain lacks active volcanoes today, but wasn't always the case millions of years ago. The land we know now, the Sunshine State, was shaped by powerful geologic forces, including underwater volcanic activity, shifting tectonic plates, and ancient mountain building events. For people just tuning in, I'm gonna let you see some of the other clips of what the collapsing structure of Florida looks like. So apparently, there's a location we're about to look at because I'm thinking like, where is this heat coming from? How is it getting so bad? You're gonna say, oh, we got hot springs there. Yeah, the hot springs has something underneath the ocean that it comes from. So poisonous methane gas, and so all this heat. And Florida is already just sitting there floating. It's a floating island. Technically, that's what it is. And if it's already a floating island, the more heat it gets, crustal deformation can start to happen as this heating happens. So let's get back to this really quick. So now where this area sits at, Devil's Millhopper, it's a sunken like hole at this point. So I'm guessing this is where the volcano was, but it looks like it's sunken down. And we're trying to investigate the situation here because if you're there right now, apparently you said people in Florida have been touching the ocean and it's been hotter than usual. It's been boiling. You need to let me know if that's the case. Let me know in the comment section because we got further analysis to go into. And why do you think the storm in Jamaica got that freaking strong, dude? Because it's boiling hot, it's intense, and it's powering them up. So the professor, he goes into, we get more information and he goes deeper into situations and we talk about a bunch of different things that he knows that he doesn't, apparently he's sick too. He's saying he's doing this because this is his mission and he doesn't have much time left. So he wants to get the message to us. We talk about a lot of seismic activity up peaking on the East Coast just being reported. Like what's going on is, okay, rare earthquakes hit Maryland's ancient fault, exposing hidden seismic risk. We talk about the blob scenario. Let's go into this though, because off the East Coast here, we're not paying attention much, but this is what we need to pay attention to. While earthquakes in Maryland are relatively common, they are rarely strong enough to be felt by people. It occurred within Chesapeake Bay seismic zone, part of the larger tectonic area along eastern U.S. called the Central Virginia Seismic Zone. Earthquakes strong enough for people to notice typically take place in this zone. However, a quake over 2.5 is even more rare with Chesapeake Bay, where quakes this magnitude historically strike once every decade. Despite their rarity, it says this is an event that is a warning sign of something larger to come. This is a warning sign of something larger to come, just as we see collapsing roads and situations happen. Look at the people. Look how little they are compared to the collapse of the road. So again, this is the earth shifts and the earth changes happening right now. Appreciate that super chat for $2. I'm gonna see what they said there. Okay, got you. I see it. Now, yeah, we're stepping into some different times. Somebody says we better do join in prayer. Definitely say a prayer for sure. Because we're gonna have some shifts happening that's going to be. I'm gonna, I have something else to post. I have more to talk about tomorrow to give you because when we went deep into all the scenarios that's going to be happening, it's really going to give you perspective. And that's why you need to hit subscribe right now, because you want to be able to get those updates. You want to be able to track movements. And we're looking at all of this now. And I have a professor helping me. We're looking into all this. And the ash on the East Coast, not the video I did yesterday, the Mount St. Helens ash. You got to hear what he said about this one, because he was alive during Mount St. Helens erupting. And then, just a month ago, we seen ash coming out of the area, and we touched on that subject. And I want you to see that. That'll be coming tomorrow. We got more information on all of that, because as this start to break down, as this start to collapse into all these different zones and regions, this heat is going to be a telling factor of how these shifts start to happen as well. Because we have the same thing happening off the West Coast with this heat forming. Somebody says, y'all need to go watch the movie 2012. Yeah, I watched that one already. I'm 2 blocks from the beach on East Coast in the middle of Florida. Somebody says they're hearing booms. Oh, all right. So this is something occurring that was across the East Coast. It was a bunch of booms heard. And then apparently by the new Madrid that we're going to get more information on. Reason why this is important, this goes back to history in 1811, before something happened with the new Madrid. So I don't want to spill everything here, because it's like me and the professor, we went into detail and we lay it out for you so you can get all the information, because I have to split this up into a series of videos so that we can, people can digest it. Because this interview just happened between me and him. It's going to be highly critical. So road navigation is something you're going to be looking at when all these situations happening. Let's move into the clip just to let people see who's tuning in. Road navigation, that's something we gotta look into. Street in homes, like areas like this, the opening of grounds. Whenever you are next to these areas, your grounds start to get hotter. You need to understand, like, wait a minute, look at these houses next to that. How much time do you have once the ground shifts this fast? And so it's like Florida. Yes, it's a floating island, and since it's a floating island, it's more prone now to all this heat when everything else starts shifting around it. And when seismic shifts happen like this, I'm going to gather more evidence so that we can make sure. Somebody says, this is real life. Yeah, this is real life. It's happening. It's in front of us. It's blatantly going to get worse too, because we've pulled up data and figured out a couple things. And West Coast survival alert as well. Video I did, danger rises, new eruptions hit ring of fires. A video I did just the other day. And the video I did about the Planet X and the solar flare disaster, the professor said he didn't actually say that Planet X was going to be announced. He said that he's covering data that he knows that it already exists, and he believes that this is the incoming system that they've already for 30 plus years knew existed. But again, we already know how mainstream science works. They're not going to tell us this. That's why they say Planet X is hypothetical. Why does this matter? Because let's pull this up really quick. We got the sun shooting objects at 3i Atlas. Okay, I'm going to read it really quick. And this was solar flare energy blast straight. It was shot basically at 3i Atlas, and then 3i Atlas shot something back at the sun. Like, we're in some crazy times right now. So this was when 3i Atlas did it just 4 days ago. And then just last month, the sun shot something. So it's not what we think. Whatever has happened is not what we think. And the magnetic shift is also hitting the land as all this happening. We've hit the times. Yes, the seasons have changed. All the stuff we knew was coming is here. So now we're going to digest this a little bit deeper. Stick with me. Subscribe. Stay tuned. Dropping a series of videos. You're going to want to see them. And right here on the left-hand side, you can check the next video out that is highly and critically important to the scenario at hand. We're trying to keep everybody alerted and aware.